Hey guys, Chad here with the Reptile Rangers. Now at Kernersville Reptile Zoo and Medical Center today, we're going to talk about something that's not talked about all that often in the venomous world, okay? Now, yes, we talk about rattlesnakes, we talk about cobras, we talk about all different kinds of elapids, vipers, and colubrid species of venomous snakes, but we're going to touch on one today that's not very commonly talked on. I think it's absolutely beautiful, beautiful animal. We have one here in the zoo. So, what we're going to do is talk about the black-tailed rattlesnake. These are absolutely awesome and beautiful looking creatures. Now they are in the rattlesnake family. Most people, when they start talking about or filming about different venomous snakes, especially rattlesnakes, it's usually the eastern diamondback, the western diamondback, things that are more prevalent or animals that are more prevalent that people would either get bit by or come across more often. But there's a lot of really, really beautiful rattlesnake species out there, especially and including in the United States. And so this is going to be one that we're going to talk about today. Now, let's go take a look at the black-tailed rattlesnake. Come on.
Okay guys, so check out this beautiful, beautiful black-tailed rattlesnake. Now, these guys right here are native to the southwestern U.S. and Mexico. Okay, so some of the desert region. Now, the blacktail, their venom is nowhere near as potent as a western diamondback's. See, on the top of his head right there, he's got these big venom glands. The reason for that is they're going to give much more large amount of volume of venom versus the venom being toxic per drop. So compared to a lot of the other rattlesnakes that's in their area or vipers in their area, these guys are not quite as toxic, but they actually have bigger venom sacs. Their venom glands are much, much bigger, so they're going to give a much heavier load of venom whenever they do bite. Now, these guys tend to be fairly docile. I mean, check this out. This guy right here, while he's semi-arching, he's not right on that tail, he's not in full defense. He's flickering that tongue and trying to get a bead on what's going on, be able to not only taste the air and scent particles, but he's getting a line on, on me and this camera and what's going on here. Now, these guys are a medium-sized species. They're not large, and they're not one of the smallest ones like the pygmies, but they're not large like the easterns and the westerns and the timber rattlesnakes. These guys are medium-sized. They get anywhere from about 30 to upwards of 50 inches long at full grown. Their colors can range depending on their geographical range, wherever they're found from, anywhere from the southwest to Mexico. As you can tell, the black-tailed rattlesnake is going to have these dark black markings, and as you can see from his tail down there, his tail is almost completely jet black. These guys are also pit vipers. They do have the heat-sensing pits right beside the nose. They are carnivorous. Okay, so they eat rodents. They eat birds. They will also eat some mammals. They will also eat some reptiles. Lizards, some of your desert lizards and things like that. Every once in a while, rattlesnakes have been known to eat another snake, but it's not very often that happens. Their venom is a hemotoxic venom. They are just like most of the rest of your vipers, other than the Mojave rattlesnake. Their venom has a hemotoxic effect. It is treated with crowfab, just like most everything else inside of the United States. As far as their reproduction goes, they do give live birth like most of your vipers do. Moms will give live birth to quite a few young. It could be anywhere from 8 to upwards of 20 little babies, sometimes more, sometimes less. Now, the average lifespan of these guys is upwards of 20 to 25 years. They can live for a pretty good long time, like most of your snakes can. It's a beautiful, beautiful snake. You can see they also have that black band behind the eye. It's kind of similar to the eastern diamondback. The eastern diamondback has a beautiful black band right behind its eye. This one right here does as well. The western diamondback, it's got a band behind the eye, and a lot of them do, but they're not quite as dark. This guy right here's got a really dark band. Got a little rattle out of somebody. Beautiful, beautiful vipers. All right, see that rattle going right there? See if I can get him. There we go. I'm not moving anymore now. He's settled down. All right, so that rattle is made up of buttons. Now, inside of the rattle, there's absolutely nothing. There's nothing that makes that noise. The rattle is made up of keratin, same thing kind of like our nails or our hair. It's made up of a keratin material, and it's so dry that whenever it shakes, it's more of a rubbing effect versus a mariachi band's caraca with a bunch of beads inside of it. It's not quite like that. There's absolutely nothing inside of those rattles. You cannot tell the age of a rattlesnake by the amount of buttons it has. Okay, these things grow a new button every time they shed. I'll probably say this anytime that we talk about rattlesnakes, different species of rattlesnakes. But in captivity, you can have rattlesnakes with 22, 23, 24 buttons. We've had a timber rattlesnake and a western diamondback that had 21 plus buttons on it. And it was only about 6, 7 years old. Some of the buttons broke off, and now they've grown back again. So don't use the old myth of how many buttons they have is how many years old they are, because that is absolutely false.
Now, isn't that absolutely awesome? That's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful snake. Amazing features and also some really cool information about him. Now, if you like that, make sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. Follow us as we go along with different adventures, different videos. Make sure to write us in, tell us things that you're interested in seeing about. Again, this is Chad at the Kernersville Reptile Zoo and Medical Center. We are the Reptile Rangers. We look forward to seeing you at the zoo, or we'll see you on the next episode. Later.